Hello, in this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to create and clone a GitHub repository. We'll walk through how to create a new repository on GitHub, and then I'll demonstrate two different ways to clone it, using Git Bash and using GitHub Desktop. First, let's create a new repository. On any page on GitHub, click the plus icon in the top right corner and select New Repository. You can choose which account or organization will own the repository. For this example, I'll be using my personal account. Next, give your repository a name. I'll call mine Demo Repo. You can add a description if you like, but that part is optional. Choose whether the repository should be public or private, depending on who you want to be able to see it. You also have the option to add a README file, which is a document that describes your project. I'm going to check the box to include a README. This initializes the repository, so it is empty. Below that, you can also add a git ignore file, which tells Git which files to ignore. And you can choose a license for your project if you want. Once everything looks good, click Create Repository. Repositories contain a project's files and version history. You should see the README file you created earlier. Your new GitHub repository is now ready to clone. When creating a repository on GitHub, it exists as a remote repository. You can clone your repository to create a local copy on your computer and sync between the two locations. Now let's clone the project using Git Bash. On the main page of the repository, click the green code button. I'm selecting the HTTPS option, which is recommended for beginners. Copy the repository URL. Next, open Git Bash. Navigate to the folder where you want to save your project. For example, I have a GitHub folder on my C drive. To get the path to your folder, click in the folder's address bar. I'll change my current working directory by typing cd followed by the path to my GitHub folder. Now type the git clone command followed by the URL you copied. Press enter. To check that it worked, type cd followed by the name of the repository. And then list the files with ls. You should see the README file you created earlier. That means the clone was successful. As you can see, Git downloads the repository into a new folder with the same name as the repository. Now let's clone the same repository using GitHub Desktop. On the repository page, click the green code button and select Open with GitHub Desktop. This will automatically open the app with the repository URL filled in. Alternatively, you can open GitHub Desktop manually. And in the top left corner, click File, then Clone Repository. Go to the URL tab and paste the same repository URL you copied earlier. Choose the local folder where you want to save your project. Then click Clone. GitHub Desktop will download the files and display your repository once it's finished. This method is great for beginners who prefer a graphical interface. On the left side, you'll see your repository name, and in the main area, you can view your project files, commit history, and branches. And that's it! You've learned how to create a GitHub repository and clone it using both Git Bash and GitHub Desktop. Whether you prefer command line or a graphical interface, both methods give you full access to your project locally. Thanks for watching!